a lot of people might not realize is you don't have a Southern accent. How easily can you
Go watch that video. My favorite thing about that is that it really paints a good picture of identity politics for people on the right. Because Larry the Cable Guy was an icon for a lot of people who believed he was a redneck. Now, I know the actor does profess some traits of a certain portion of the United States population, but it's really funny because that was the whole persona, and so many people ate it up. So many products were sold under the guise of that guy being something that he technically was not. And they fell into it so easily. That whole troupe, right? The blue collar comedy tour stuff, so many people fell into that. And granted, their comedy resonated, and that was part of it. But it was all a persona, right? That they put forth, and so many people ate that up and dove right into it. And then it's like, but it was an act. The majority of it was an act, right? It's like the Duck Dynasty thing. A lot of people thought, all them poor guys making, duck stuff, and it's like, no, they really weren't. Those guys were clean shaven businessmen before that. They would have been more like CEOs, but they realized in marketing that if they made themselves seem like a just below middle class working person, that a lot of white people would fall into that. And I find it hilarious because, as I've talked about before, the stars that you don't like them. You like the characters they're playing. And I'll use the example I used before. I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. I don't hate her. Don't get me wrong. If she's on here, I'll tag her in it. Hopefully get a response. I doubt it. I don't get response from anybody. My channel's not big enough yet. You guys can help with that. But anyway, I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. I like her character in Silver Linings Playbook. I like the character she portrays, but I don't know Jennifer Lawrence. And from the interviews I've seen and the things that have been talked about where she can be kind of rude and stuff, I don't like her. But I don't know all of that. So I can't say I hate her. I can't say that, she's a horrible person. I don't know that. But I don't like her. I don't. But the character she played, the one, because I don't like the Katniss Everdeen character either. I don't like, no. But that one character seemed real to me, and she acted that character well. There's a number of actors and actresses that are like that I love the characters they play. Me and my partner, we joke back and forth, but I like Kirsten Dunst. I'll tag her as well. Now she's got a TikTok. I like her, but I like her characters. I don't know her. And her husband, I'm forgetting his name now. I'm so sorry, because I really think he's a great actor. But my partner says that I don't like him because he's with Kirsten Dunst, and that's true, I guess. I'm kind of jealous. But no, I like the characters she plays. I like a lot of the characters she plays. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And that's the thing, though, is it took me a while to differentiate. And I think there's still a lot of people, even in older age, that don't get that. This is not a new phenomenon by any means either. Back in the days of the silver screen, a lot of people fell in love with actors that were not their characters. They were truly terrible people, but people loved those. Like Jerry Lewis was not the character he portrayed. He was a more serious person. If you want to see more what Jerry Lewis was kind of like, go watch the original Nutty Professor. He was more akin to the guy he turned into than he was the professor. And that's kind of, he talked differently. There's that whole thing, but he was good at putting persona on. He was a good performer. And a lot of that, to me, that's what being a good actor is. If you can make people believe you were that person, it makes it that much easier. Now, some actors, I think they fall into that easier. For example, I'm going to use Dwayne Johnson as an example. Dwayne Johnson acts more like a common person in a lot of roles, but I think it's because his background is different, so it was easier for him to translate. Now, he's coming out of touch with that here more recently. That's the thing happening. That's a whole nother conversation. But you have to remember, even Dwayne Johnson, he is not the guy you're going to go working at Lowe's or Home Depot. He's not cutting your wood. He's not assembling houses. He's not even working on his own cars. Sure, he can do a video showing that, but that's not who he is. He's done other things beyond that. And not all of us are that way. If I was to suddenly become rich tomorrow, I would be live videoing everything. If I won the lottery or somebody gave me a ton of money and said, prove it, I would be doing very similar things. I'd be more vocal, of course, than I could be here because I'd be amplified with that money, right? But when you become an actor, and this is probably why I would love to be in films, but at the same time I wouldn't, your lifestyle has to change. And a lot of people always argue with this, like, no, they're just spoiled, and you have to change. You can't live in a common neighborhood. You'll be harassed all the time. People will vandalize your property. People won't leave you alone because the fame, they want to see you. So there's certain requirements that you have to adhere to. This is why a lot of actors who talk about this kind of thing, when they start off, they're nobodies. It's great, right? Because they're trying to get exposure, but nobody recognizes them. So it's easy for them to weave in and out of public. They can go shopping still. They can do all these different things. They can eat at restaurants, no problem. But once you become a star on radar, you can't do those anymore. You can't just walk into a restaurant. People are going to harass you. Some people are nice. If I saw a star at a restaurant eating a meal, I'm not going to bug them. I don't care how much I love that actor or the characters, but I'm not going to bug them because I recognize they're eating, they're doing something. Maybe, and this is where I struggle. Maybe if I saw somebody walking down the street in LA, I might, but even then I'd be hesitant because I understand they're probably doing something and they're on their way. I'm more the type, I would rather meet a star at a place where they're expecting it, a convention, Comic-Con, something like that. If they're there, or like a photo op or something. But yeah. But anyway, guys,